A massive upset just took place in deep red Iowa, where the Democratic candidate Catelin Drey just defeated a MAGA Republican candidate in a plus 11.5 Trump 2024 district. We're getting the results in right now, folks. Catelin Drey, 37-year-old founder of Moms for Iowa, will go on to win Senate District 1's special election against Christopher Prosch, the very, very MAGA Republican candidate who is running against her. As we just published on the MeidasTouch account, Democrat Catelin Drey flips Iowa Senate District 1, a district Trump won by 11.5 points in 2024, defeating MAGA Republican candidate Christopher Prosch in a landslide special election and breaking the GOP supermajority in the Iowa Senate. That's a big deal, and that's going to prevent a lot of the MAGA agenda in Iowa as well. And folks, remember back in January where we reported on that massive victory by Democrat Mike Zimmer, who flipped the Iowa State Senate seat in an election that Trump had won that area by 21 points. This continues that trend, and corporate news and everyone will say, a shocker, a massive shocker. But as we've been reporting, this is a trend. Democrats overperforming in special elections now by 10 to 15, in some cases 17 points. Democratic Congressmember Ted Lieu just wrote, Democrats flip another special election seat, this time in Iowa Senate 1, a Trump plus 11.5 district. Congratulations, Catelin Drey, for running a great race and breaking a Republican supermajority. Voters in Iowa 1 understand Trump and Republicans are harming our country. And folks, this has massive implications for a Senate race coming up there against the MAGA Republican candidate Joni Ernst, where you have the Democratic state representative in Iowa, a guy by the name of Josh Turek, who we've had on the MeidasTouch network, and he's got a ton of momentum in that campaign. And then you also have in the governor's race, Democratic candidate and Iowa State Auditor Rob Sand surging there as well. And this is also, I think, showing that this can be done in the midterms, showing massive signs of hope right here. Who is Catelin Drey? 37-year-old, Moms for Iowa. She was inspired by people like Stacey Abrams to get involved. She never considered herself a political person, but then recognized that politics was everywhere around her, even if it wasn't called as such, and that these MAGAs were intruding onto or into the homes and the lives and the freedoms of people in Iowa and across the country. One of the trends we've seen where Democrats have had these major upsets is they've been talking about the issues, folks. They've been focused on the economy. They've been focused on farms. They've been focused on healthcare. They've been focused on education. They've been focused on jobs. They've been focused on issues that matter to the people, where MAGA Republican candidates, in this case, just like Christopher Prosch, very MAGA, he's like a MAGA publicist, this guy, was focused on all of the culture war issues. Let's take a look at Catelin Drey's 30-second spot that really started inspiring the people of Sioux City. Play this clip.
Across Iowa, rural communities are shrinking. Schools are underfunded. Healthcare is out of reach. The political air is toxic and the water is nearly as bad. I'm done being afraid. I'm Catelin Drey and I'm ready to work for change. Let's send a message to Des Moines. We need thoughtful policies that care more about people than pipelines. I'm Catelin Drey, and I'm asking for your vote in the special election on August 26th.
And here she is again being interviewed by the Sioux City Journal. Let's play this clip.
So as you're going house to house, knocking on doors, what is the number one concern that you're hearing? And also, what do you want voters to know about you that you think they may not know?
The number one concern I'm hearing from voters right now is that we have an affordability crisis in Senate District 1. Housing and childcare are sometimes difficult to access, and when it's accessible, it's not affordable. the same can be said of our healthcare. And I'm running because I think that we can do better, and there are policies that we can enact next session that will make a difference for the residents of Senate District 1. Something that voters might not know about me is that I majored in Spanish and photography at Morningside College, now Morningside University. So I can take your picture in 2 languages.
Here she appeared on the Iowa Starting Line podcast. Let's play it.
I heard Stacey Abrams say, like, political doesn't mean partisan. And so we have conflated those 2 words to mean the same thing. But really, all policy, all of our life is political. Whether or not we can buy a home in the neighborhood we want to live in, whether or not we can see an OBGYN when we are pregnant or need reproductive care. And Iowa is last for that right now, which is also unacceptable when you talk about wanting to attract and retain young families in a state whose population is shrinking, aside from our immigrants, right? And so all of these things are political, and they can all be rallying cries for different groups. And I was not raised in an overly partisan political family. I have 2 very stoic Nordic parents from the Midwest, but they did raise me with the value of helping your neighbor and doing the right thing. And this feels like helping my neighbors, and this feels like doing the right thing right now.
And here was Christopher Prosch, the MAGA candidate, his interview with the Sioux City Journal. Play this clip.
What are you hearing from people as you knock on doors? What are their concerns?
Yeah. The main concerns I'm hearing mostly is around 3 things. Job opportunities. They want more job opportunities. Number 1. Number 2 is the CO2 pipeline. I've been very, very adamant about that. I am pro energy progress, but not at the expense of private property rights. We cannot abuse our farmers and our ranchers and our landowners. I'm not a supporter of eminent domain. And then lastly is the nuclear power plant. The possibility of maybe bringing that, to Sioux City over the next 5 to 10 years via the county board. I've been going to county board meetings for months now, and city council meetings, and Lawton City Council meetings. I mean, so sitting down with the mayor, getting my voice out there to every single person I possibly can to really hear what's going on out there. So I think that's super important. So.
Can you tell us one thing that you want people to know about you that they may not know?
Yeah. I mean, one thing people don't really know about me, huge family man. When Senator Raleigh came here from up by Spirit Lake, he made a comment to me. He said, politics is what it is. It can be great. It can be good, bad, and ugly. But being a parent's the best thing you can possibly do. And he's right. I mean, I look at my boys over there, and I think they're one's 3 and one's 4 months old, and it's just politics is amazing. It's a passion of mine, but so is the Sioux City area. But family, family first. And I love spending time with my wife, and my kids. If I could do that full time, I definitely would.
Our good friend here on the MeidasTouch Network, Josh Turek, right there. You see Turek. Turek was born with spina bifida caused by the Agent Orange his father was inflicted in the Vietnam War. He literally has to pull himself. He had 21 surgeries before he was like 12 years old. He has to pull himself up because he's in a wheelchair to go knock on doors. But here he says, I know the importance of knocking doors to earn every vote. Had a great canvas launch with Catelin Drey. If you can help Catelin out by knocking doors or making calls, and let's win this race. Let's take a look at Josh Turek knocking on doors. Play this clip. Now, I had the honor to interview Josh Turek. Here's what he told me. Play this clip.
Hello, my friend, and thank you for having me. I love seeing that video. It's even inspiring me. I'm Iowa State Representative Josh Turek. As the video said, born with spina bifida, 21 surgeries by the age of 12. Gone on to play in 4 Paralympic Games, won 2 gold medals representing my country. Been the director of a nonprofit organization where we provide free summer camps to disabled kids, and ran originally for my race because of what privatized Medicaid was doing in Iowa to the disabled population, and representing the reddest part of the state that any Democrat has been able to win in.
Well, Josh, tell us first about how you won in that area, because it does provide, pun intended, a blueprint for what you can do nationwide. So how'd you win that House seat originally when no one said that was possible?
I love that. It is the blueprint. And the blueprint is hard work, grit, determination. I went out every single day from June all the way until November, crawling those stairs, knocking doors, dragging my wheelchair up, having face-to-face conversations with, it did not matter the party, with Republicans, with independents, with Democrats. I was out there as a common sense, prairie populist is what I would call myself, of going out there and talking about the kitchen table issues. And I would always hear two things when I would get up on people's doors. The very first thing they would say is, "How in the world did you get up here?" And I would say, I crawled up here. I drug my wheelchair up here. That's how important it is to have a conversation with you. And then I would tell them about my story and why I'm running and kitchen table issues. And by the end, they would say, I'm not going to vote for every Democrat, but I'm going to vote for you because I like the kind of Democrat that you are.
The Guardian had been covering the importance of this Senate race in Iowa, how it could be a signal of a blue wave for the 2026 midterms if Catelin Drey went on to beat Christopher Prosch, and indeed, that's what's happened. You have the MAGA Republican governor there in Iowa, although she maybe doesn't consider herself a MAGA Republican, Kim Reynolds, but MAGA loyalist right there. You had this supermajority there. You had Christopher Prosch, founder of Felix Strategies, a public relations firm based in Sioux Falls, which does, quote, strategic communications for Christian conservatives. Heather Williams, who we've had here on the MeidasTouch Network a lot. She's the leader of the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee, DLCC. Do you remember a month ago, maybe it was 2 months ago, she came on our show here on the MeidasTouch Network, and she and we were talking about this very, very important race. He's deep in MAGA Trump land, she told us, and also told The Guardian. He is the kind of candidate that not that long ago would have never seen the light of day on a ballot. He said a litany of all the MAGA perspectives and point of views, so he got pushed through. He hates woke this, woke that. He was running that, and that did not work in Sioux City, which is the heart of Senate District 1, where this big victory by Drey, a 37-year-old marketing executive, founder of Moms for Iowa, this grassroots organization focused on curbing gun violence. Big hat tip to the DLCC here, the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee. They invested heavily in Iowa, and they are continuing to invest heavily in Iowa for the midterms at all levels. Here, by the way, you have Rob Sand running for governor, and here's what he had to say. This was 4 days ago he posted this, leading a town hall singing America the Beautiful. Last night in Cedar Rapids, Republicans, Democrats, and independents joined together in song, one way to push back against those in both parties who make a buck or get elected by dividing us. Here, play this clip. And folks, we will overcome. America is beautiful. The tides are turning. A blue wave seems to be forming right now, folks. This gives us a great deal of hope. 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 Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to add the MeidasTouch podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for new updates every single day.